Good morning, everyone. We are the Group 10, and I am the first presenter. So, today our topic is all about ecoliteracy and sustainable development. Ecoliteracy considers ecological systems and awareness of how society operates within natural aspects as an educational imperative. The basic principles of ecoliteracy are good starting points to explore fundamental lessons that can be learned from Nature for the Reform of Society by Wall 2017. So, ang ecoliteracy, it means that ito ay ang pag-unawa sa kalikasan at kung paano tayo mamuhay sa loob nito. So, it is important that it will learn from school for us to reform the nature for our society. David Orr, 1992, posited that by failing to include ecological perspective in education, students are taught that ecology is unimportant. So as stated with David Orr, we need to learn ecology in school for us to learn about the importance of ecology in our society. Orr and Capra 1990 coined the idea of ecological literacy as creating a new emphasis on the need for education to integrate understanding of the interdependence between natural processes and human ways of life. So as stated with Orr and Capra introduced ecological literacy. It means that saying schools should teach how nature and human life are connected. Therefore, ecoliteracy is the ability to understand the organization of natural systems and the processes that maintain the healthy functioning of living systems and sustain life on Earth. So, ecoliteracy is the skill to understand how nature is organized and how life systems stay healthy and alive on Earth. In another perspective, ecological literacy is an understanding of the principles of organization that ecosystems have evolved to sustain the web of life, which is the first step on the road to sustainability. The second step is the move towards eco-design, of which there is a need to apply the ecological knowledge to the fundamental redesign of technologies and social institutions to bridge the current gap between human design and the ecological sustainable systems of nature, or CAPRA 2003. So, it means that ecological literacy also means knowing how ecosystems are built to keep life going. So, in step 1, it stated that understanding nature systems to reach sustainability. So in step 2, use that knowledge to redesign technologies and societies so they fit better with nature, as to stated with CAPRA 2003. Sustainability is a qualitative and quantitative condition that demonstrates the human capacity to survive over time. It is a qualitative in a way that we want well-being, although it is difficult to measure. But it is also quantitative in that natural capital and ecological carrying capacity can be measured with footprinting tools. It is a biological and ecological imperative for human society to exist within the carrying capacity of the ecosystem. Ecological literacy therefore provides the basis for integrated thinking about sustainability. It supports the frame and mind ethics and the type of practice that will support the kind of thinking that prioritizes ecological imperatives. So in sustainability, it is both a feeling of wanting to live well and something we can measure how much we use the nature. So human needs to live in balance with what nature can handle. So ang ecological literacy, it helps us think in ways that support the environment and encourages ethic and thoughtful choices or actions. And work on ecological literacy. Our society has created industries, processes, programs, and institutions that are destroying the ecosystem's ability to support life. This unsustainable and reckless action is a direct result of lack of ecological understanding and lack of sense of urgency. With this in mind, ecological literacy aims to replace fragmented thinking with new cognitive and social capacities necessary for the design of sustainable ways of living. So to live sustainably, we need to challenge harmful habits and ideas in society. Some industries or systems are damaging. So this damage happens because people don't understand ecology and don't act urgently. So ecoliteracy helps people think better and make better choices for a sustainable life.
Hi, I am Earl Pantanoses and I am the second reporter. Now, our topic is ecologically literate person and society. For WAL 2017, an ecologically literate person can apply such as understanding to the design and organization of communities and the creation of the regenerative culture. To be ecoliterate means to understand the principles of organization of ecological communities and to use those principles for creating sustainable human communities. So an ecological literate person daw kuno is understand how the ecosystem works and applies this knowledge to build sustainable communities. According to WAL 2017, no, ang ecoliteracy daw kuno involves using ecological principles to design and organize societies in ways that support, regenerate, and long-term well-being. So, an ecologically literate person understands the essence of independence and interconnectedness and that we are all part of a living system. An ecologically literate person translates this understanding into actions that demonstrate conscious effort to minimize negative impacts on our life, sustaining system, and maximize value contribution to our collective well-being. Now, for future generation. So, an ecologically literate person do kuno is nag-recognize no ang interconnectedness of all life and acts responsibly to protect and support the environment. So they make choice that reduce harm and contribute positively to the well-being of both current and future generation. So on the other hand, an ecologically literate society would be sustainable society which does not destroy the natural environment on which they depend. Thus, ecological literacy is a powerful concept, no, as it creates a foundation for an integrated approach to the environmental problems. So advocates and catalysts champion eco-literacy as a new educational reform emerging from holism. So systems thinking, sustainability, and complexity, while 2017 claim that nurturing the ecological literacy in students of a wide range of age has become the goal of sustainable education and programs worldwide. So the next one is the ways to develop ecoliteracy in school. So a growing number of educators feel need to foster learning that genuinely prepares young people for the ecological challenges presented by this entirely unprecedented time in the human history. Thus, the goal is to raise the students with an important perspective called socially and emotionally engaged ecoliteracy. So which is a process that offers an antidote for fear, anger, and hopeless, which result from inaction. Hence, the act of engaging in ecological challenges on whatever scale it's possible or appropriate, it develops strength, hope, and resiliency among young people. So many educators believes it is important to prepare students for today's serious environmental challenges. Now, one way to do this is through socially and emotionally engaged ecoliteracy, which helps students face this issue with its action instead of fear. No, by getting involved, they build hope, strength, and resilience. So in this case, ecoliteracy is founded a new integration of emotional, social, and ecological forms of intelligence, while social and emotional intelligence extends students' abilities to see from another perspective, emphasize and show concern. Ecological intelligence apply these capacities to understanding of natural system and cognitive skills with empathy for all of life. So by weaving these forms of intelligence together, ecoliteracy builds on success from reduced behavioral problems to increased academic achievement to foster social and emotional learning. So ang ecoliteracy combines emotional, social, and ecological intelligence. This helps students understand nature while also developing empathy, compassion, and care for other and environment. So this blend not only support academic success but also improves behavior and social emotional learning. So to help educator fosters socially and emotionally engaged eco-literacy, na the following are identified practices in age-appropriate way for students, ranging from pre-kindergarten through adulthood, and help promote the cognitive and affective the abilities with the integration of emotional, social, and ecological intelligence. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I'm Graceman Kiblat and I am the third reporter. So this is the continuation of Mr. Pantanosa's part. So first, develop empathy for all forms of life. By recognizing the common needs we share with all organisms, we can extend our empathy to consider the quality of life of other life forms, feel genuine concern about their well-being, and act on that concern. Second is to embrace sustainability as a community practice. By learning the wondrous ways that plants, animals, and other living things are interdependent, students are inspired to consider the role of interconnectedness within their communities and see the value in strengthening those relationships by thinking and acting cooperatively. All living organisms, from plants to animals, share fundamental needs: access to food, water and shelter, safety and protection, reproductive opportunities, and social interaction. So empathy involves understanding and sharing the feelings of another, like affective empathy, feeling concern with witnessing the suffering of animals or plants. Third is to make the invisible visible. If we strive to develop ways of living that are more life-affirming, we must find ways to make visible the things that seem invisible by using web-based tools such as Google Earth, Good Guide, and Foodgate apps. Anticipate unintended consequences. Teachers can teach students strategies for anticipating unintended consequences. These include precautionary principle that when an activity threatens to have a damaging impact on the environment or human health, precautionary actions should be taken. Another strategy is the shift from analyzing a problem by reducing it to its isolated components to adapting a systems thinking perspective that examines connections and relationships among various components of the problem. Okay, so by integrating these tools into daily life, individuals can demystify complex environmental and health issues, making them more accessible and actionable global challenges. Fifth is to understand how nature sustains life. Eco-literate people recognize that nature has sustained life for long that resulted to turning to nature when their teachers imbibe three crucial tenets to eco-literate living. Eco-literate people learn from nature that all living organisms are complex and interconnected that inhabit a particular place for survival. Eco-literate people tend to be more aware that systems exist on various levels of scale, and eco-literate people collectively practice a way of life that fulfills the needs of the present generation while simultaneously supporting the nature's inherent ability to sustain life in future. So, eco-literacy equips individuals and with the knowledge and perspective necessary to live harmoniously with the natural world. Okay, so here are the 7 environmental principles of nature. Considering the key to understanding environmental problems is to learn about ecosystem. Ecology can be best appreciated in schools through a more practical and more relatable perspectives and manner of orientation and realization. Okay, so school gardens serves as a dynamic learning environments where students can observe and participate in ecological processes firsthand. Okay, so the following are basic environmental principles of ecosystem adapted from Barry Commoner, cited in Butler 2012. First is nature knows best. People need to understand nature and have to abide by the rules it imposes. In essence, one must not go against the natural processes of he or she would like to ensure a continuous and steady supply of resources. Second, all forms of life are important. Each organism plays a fundamental role in nature, therefore, all living things must be considered as invaluable instruments in maintaining balance in the ecosystem. Okay, so the principle that nature knows best emphasizes the importance of understanding and respecting natural resources or processes to ensure the sustainable use of resources. And all forms of life are important.
Good evening, everyone. I am Rachel B. Cadet, and I am the fourth reporter. So, we are going to continue the discussion about the basic environmental principles of ecosystem. The fifth environmental principle, everything must go somewhere since wastes may go back to one's own backyard in some other forms. It is important to become aware of the different types of waste, classify and segregate those that are toxic and potentially hazardous. Everything must go somewhere means that waste doesn't just disappear. So dili lang sila basta mawala. It ends up in the environment, often in harmful ways. That's why it is important na masabtan nato, nga makahibaw tag classify in different types of wastes, and separate nato into different types, especially those that are toxic or hazardous. Proper segregation helps protect our health, keeps the environment clean, and makes recycling or disposal safer and more effective. You know, like, our earth is so limited, as in, dili siya infinite. Dili tanan resources kay naara pirmi, like tubig, kahoy, oil, mahurot gyud siya if sige ta og gamit and wala tay control. So we really have to be more aware, di ba? Like, change our mindset and be more responsible. Dili na pwede nga sige lang tag throw away and buy new. That's why recycling is so important. If kaya pagamiton, why not reuse? It's not just about being eco-friendly, it's also about thinking long-term, like, para na pa earth ang future generations, ang atong mga anak in the future. So, not just puro basura and pollution. So, yes, even small things like segregating your trash or using eco bags like we are practicing now in Mambahaw, or reusing containers, makahelp na siya big time. The seventh one is nature is beautiful and we are stewards of God's creation. Being the most intelligent and being gifted with reason, humans are capable of controlling and taking care of the creation of their own advantage. We know nature is life. Without nature, we can survive. Without resources, we can survive. No, we are just vanished, mag-extinct ta as humans. So, like all the trees, oceans, and animals, it's all part of God creation, And since we are the most intelligent beings, God gave us the responsibility to take care of the nature, the Mother Earth, and not to abuse it. So, like, we have the power and the reason to manage nature properly. We can use it for our needs. Pero at the same time, we should protect it. No? Kasi, if we destroy it, we are also hurting ourselves in the long run. So, as the stewards of creation, dapat responsible ta. Like, let's not be greedy. Let's be wise in how we use Earth's resources. It's a gift, not just for us, but for the future generations pod. Towards a green school and education for sustainable development, schools play a great role in the development of academics, but also environmental ethics and care for nature among students. The school environment, therefore, should encourage, support, and nurture students' capacities on green environment as integrated in the curriculum and instruction. This will allow them to connect with their surroundings and attend to their health and safety needs while motivating them to learn and imbibe a sense of belongingness and sensitivity towards the school, society, and even this planet. Schools are not just for academic lang. They also help shape our values, especially when it comes to caring for the environment. That's why it's important na ang schools promote green practices and teach students how to protect nature. Like, dapat ang curriculum and activities encourage students to be more aware of their surroundings, to care about their health, about their safety, and to care about the planet. When student feels connected to their environment, mas motivated sila to learn. And they grow up with a sense of belonging and responsibility. Not just sa school, but also sa society and the earth. So basically, a green school is equals to a better future. Environmental issues and concerns can be effectively addressed when all efforts of staff and students are geared toward adapting environmentally sustainable principles at all levels, from planning and decision making up to their execution in the school's functioning as part of the daily routine, such as creating a green school. So, environmental issues won't be solved overnight, but if everyone in the school, all the stakeholders like students, staff, teachers, and also parents work together, we can actually make a big difference. It's not enough manggod nga mag-clean up drive lang ta once in a while. Dapat we are environmental, sustainable, like it's part of everything we do. From planning to decision making up to the daily routine of the school. Like imagine if every class, every event or project has a green touch. That's how you build a green school. So yes, if we all adopt eco-friendly practices like dito pa lang sa pag-segregate sa different types of waste, energy saving, using less plastic, no? Like we are practicing now in Mambahaw and other parts of the Philippines, we are not just helping the environment, we are also creating a school creature that is sustainable and inspiring. Green school, or the concept and the background. The concept of green school was introduced in Europe in the 1990s, while the Rio Earth Summit of 1992 took cognizance of the need to take action in every area in which human impacts on the environment. The World Summit on Sustainable Development, or also known as WSSD, in Johannesburg in 2002, catalyzed the efforts to bring about a shift in educating about the environment to educating for sustainability. This shift reflected the international climate of thinking about sustainable development that meets the needs of the present without compromising future generations to meet their own needs. There was a continuous misuse and abuse of natural resources in quest for development that would tend the future to be at stake. Hence, we need a deeper understanding and action to respond to environmental issues rather and challenges that our earth is confronted with. Recognizing education as a critical means to achieve sustainability, the United Nations launched the Decade of Education for Sustainable Development, or DESD, in 2005 to integrate principles, values, and practices of sustainable development into all aspects of education and learning in order to encourage behavior that will create a more sustainable future in terms of environmental integrity, economic viability, and a just society for present and future generations. This is according to UNESCO 2005. A key objective of the UNDESD is to foster better quality teaching and learning for ESD. This calls for reorientation of thinking and practice of formal education, including teaching, learning approaches, and assessment. Um, the idea of green school started in Europe in the year 1990s. And then in the 1992 Rio Earth Summit, the world finally said, okay, we need to take action on how humans are affecting the environment. So fast forward in the year 2002 in Johannesburg, so the focus shifted from just teaching about the environment into educating for sustainability. So meaning, it's not just about knowing the issues, but about doing something to make sure our development um, today won't ruin the future. So, bisan pag daghan or taas kayo ang development karon sa mga infrastructure or any projects na about sa um, progress is kapangita sila og solution na it won't ruin the future. Okay? So, people were overusing and abusing natural resources in the name of progress. 'Di ba? So, like we are kanang witnessing today, 'di ba? Ang mga bukid gakabungkag na because tungod kay kailangan butangan siya og kalsada, kailangan tukuran siya og mga resort, no, mga restaurant, mga parks nga dili siya kanang eco-friendly or as in maguba gid todo ang mga kahoy, as in ma-vanish gyud pag-ayo ang mga kahoy anang dapita. So but for the sake of ingnon nga progress, though naa gyud siya progress pero maigog gyud, so naa gyud siya dako nga impact didto sa ato ang environment. Dako gyud ang iyahang ruin nga mabilin dito sa ato ang nature. But that kind of mindset is risky. Like, hello, future generations need Earth too. So, ang ako laging huna-huna ba, tungod kay progress lagi, siguro moabot sa future nga wala naging yuta or wala naging mga kahoy ang mabilin because nabulit na ta sa kalsada, concrete nga mga roads. No, maybe naa siya helpful side or naa siya maayong abot dito sa mga tao, but in the near future napabaka na ang mga natural resources nga ato ang na-experience karon. So luoy kayo ang mga future generations na puro na lang concrete or metals ilahang makita, wala na ning mga kaning Mother Earth or Mother Nature nga ato ang na-experience karon. So to address that, the United Nations launched the Decade of Education for Sustainable Development or DESD in the year 2005. So unsay goal ani? This is to make sure education includes the values and practices of sustainability, not just in science class, but in all aspects of learning. So, this means better teaching methods, more meaningful learning, and a strong focus on building a fair, clean, and livable future for all. So, yes, mauto, education is not just about grades anymore. It's about preparing us to protect and improve the world we live in. And that's for all about my topic today. And the next reporter will be the one who continue the discussion. Thank you everyone for listening.
Green schools and ESD, the Green School is visualized as school guided by the principles of environmental sustainability. It seeks to create a conducive environment for to fully utilize all resources and opportunity inside and outside the school, and orient teachers and students in environmental sustainability through active involvement of the community. It demands ongoing, continuous, and synergistic efforts of all stakeholders towards improving the environment of the school and its surroundings. Students' learning experiences outside school help them to consolidate and apply knowledge, gain understanding of environmental processes, interrelationships and issues, acquire life skills, and help foster attitudes, values, and sensitivity towards environmental concerns. A green school is identified with those elements and practices that inculcate environmental sensitivity to promote environmental sustainability through various environment-friendly means and encourage judicious use of resources. It also caters to the physical, mental, and emotional needs of a child by ensuring a school environment that is physically safe, emotionally secure, and psychologically enabling. Essential aspects of green school environment. The greenest of school finds expression in various aspects of the environment. The green school has clean, healthy, protective, and green surroundings. It also promotes both the physical and the psychosocial health of learners and caters in school. Ensures a healthy provision of health services such as nutritional supplementation and counseling. Hygienic, safe drinking water, neat and clean classrooms, playgrounds and parks, etc. Safe learning environment with healthy practices. Example, a school free of drugs, corporal punishment, and harassment, and brings children closer to nature and involves them in taking care of it. Thus, a green school is a school that engages the school community, especially children taking care of it. Thus, a green school is a school that engages the school community, especially children, in critical thinking and learning by adopting participatory, practical, and collaborative approaches to work together and make the school environment healthier for the students and staff by involving the whole community to work towards a sustainable future. A green school adheres to the following precepts. Learning about the environment, it focuses mainly on acquisition of knowledge and understanding of surroundings and related issues. Learning through the environment, it refers to the process of learning while being engaged with environment inside and outside the classroom. Learning for the environment, it aims at developing an informed response and responsibility towards the environment beyond acquisition of skills and knowledge. Understanding green curriculum. For a curriculum to be green, it must include the following aspects. Environment is encompassing, multidisciplinary, and dynamic, has scientific, social, economic, political, and technological dimension. Being holistic, A green curriculum views as environment as all that is around and aims to give a better understanding of the way the world functions, its operations, its alteration because of the action of human race and its consequences.
So, good morning everyone. I am Jericho Pirusal and I'm going to continue the discussion. It holistically addresses sustainability concerns such as protection and conservation of natural resource traditions, culture and heritage, safety and security, physical and emotional assurance, health and sanitation issues, concern of equity for and justice and interconnection between and among natural, social, physical, and cultural environment. This requires a teaching learning approach where students and provided time and space to explore different phases of environment and interconnection them. Next is a green curriculum is a mutual concern of teachers and students. Creating a green school. A green school is a school that creates a healthy environment conducive to learning while saving energy, environmental resources, and money. Therefore, a green school reduces environmental impacts and cost and improves occupants' health and performance. And third is increases environmental and sustainability literacy. Next is characteristics of a green school. Green, healthy and high performing are the characteristics of a green school, and and it provides many benefits to students, teachers, and the community at the teachers. Next is it increases students' performance. Student test scores can provide up to 20% when students learn is green classrooms. It saves energy and money. Operating cost for energy and water is a green school can be reduced by 20% to 40%. It reduces carbon emissions. Green schools significantly reduce carbon dioxide emissions. And next is it reduces water usage. On a average of green school reduces water usage by 32%. That has direct savings for the building. It improves teachers' retention. A school can reduce teacher turnover by as much as 5%, which improves students' learning and school community it result in financial saving for the school. It improves daily attendance. It reduces absenteeism by 15%. It provides a unique educational opportunity. Schools can become teaching tools and improve important features of science and advanced technology and designs in school are used to motivate students and about learning real-world applications of green schools of green technology and using schools and schoolyards as living laboratories. It improves equality. Greening public schools creates an opportunity to improve the health and educational settings for all students admitting diverse identities and needs. Dark Green School Program, Philippine Environmental Perspectives. A dark green school, which is DGS, is a school that delivers environmental education through assimilation of the environmental philosophy by the students in formal lessons, as well as in activities outside the classroom. So that would be all for my topic. I hope you all understand. Thank you po.
Good morning once again. I am Latrell Sabaya, the 7 reporter, and now we are going to talk about Dark Green School program. A dark green school is a school that delivers environmental education through assimilation of the environmental philosophy by the students in the formal lessons as well as in activities outside the classroom. It promotes environmental education by integrating eco-friendly values into classroom lessons and school activities. According to a school must be first is maintain cleanliness as a sign of a good management. Second, promote green spaces, waste management, and smoke-free air. Third, implement policies for a healthy eco-friendly campus. Fourth, provide a strong environmental curriculum and train staff. 5. Ensure faculty and students value environmental programs. 6. Partner with communities for eco-projects, and the last one is conduct research on nature and human impact. Sustainable ecological living is based on different sets of principles. To assess the impact of our choices and actions, we need criteria from studying the basic facts of life as follows. Capra 2003. So, the sustainable ecological living follows key principles like energy from the sun, natural recycling, diversity, and interconnectedness by Capra 2003. Sustainability considers the environmental effects of human actions, which are shaped by social, economic, and political systems. It involves balancing environmental, economic, and the social needs. Ecological living gives a larger understanding of how things connected and are interdependent that begins with addressing the causes of negative impacts on the environment. Ecological living and literacy, therefore, provide people with the tools, knowledge, and wisdom for taking concrete actions on their immense desire to contribute to a better world and future by Capra 2003. Therefore, it helps us understand how everything is connected and encourages us to address the root causes of environmental harm. It equips people with the knowledge and tools to make meaningful actions of a better future. Living ecological means respecting the planet's limits and valuing all life, nurturing relationships, and working together to build sustainable and passionate world. Smithsman 2014 mentioned practical suggestions on how we can support the change for sustainability through ecological living. In order to sustain our actions for ecological living, it is helpful to remember and draw inspiration from the inner or personal development dimensions of ecological living. Outer actions include practical steps we take to care for the environment, while inner ecological perspectives focus on self-awareness, values, and mindset. Balancing both helps sustain long-term commitment to ecological living and meaningful change.
So now I will discuss the inner and outer ecological perspectives by Smithsman in the year of 2014. So now we will discuss the inner ecology by Smithsman in the year of 2014. So inner ecology become a catalyst of change to help co-create a better world and future, care for and relate with non-human beings while spending time with nature. Make the most of sustainability crisis that focuses us to learn, dream, think, design, act, and relate in a new ways. Join the rest around the world in becoming agents of sustainability. Nurture nature by taking care of our body and become aware of our natural body rhythms. Become more energy efficient and learn to recycle our own energy. Learn to compose our own waste and no need to dump this onto others. And lastly, become aware of rights, needs, and well-being of future generations and explore how we can support this in our actions. So, inner ecology Kani siya nga slide, it focuses on personal responsibility for environmental sustainability. It encourages individuals to become agents of change by making conscious choices in their daily lives, including mindful consumptions, energy efficiency, and waste reduction. A key element is connecting with nature and understanding natural rhythms. So next, we proceed to the author Ecology by Smithsman in the year of 2014. So, author ecology. First, educate ourselves about the resources that we, our family, and our organizations utilize to fulfill and sustain our needs. Reduce, reuse, repurpose, and recycle. Be aware of the real price of goods and services that we use. Cheap products often have hidden costs, the cost of child labor, animal cruelty, or degradation of ecosystem. Find out any child labor practices or natural resources that were sacrificed in the process of producing products and services. Recycle grey water, collect unused rainwater, create an organic vegetable garden, compost organic waste and use the compost in the garden. Then, create a garden with a balance of endemic indigenous plants to support local wildlife like animals, insects, trees, and plants. Create a roof garden. Green roof as a natural air conditioning alternative to increase garden space. Buy organic and local products as much as possible. Support local businesses and organizations that care for our planet. So, author ecology is emphasizes the awareness of the environmental impact of consumption. It promotes responsible sourcing, reducing, reusing, and recycling, and encourages investigations into the origins of products to ensure ethical and sustainable practices. It also highlights practical actions like water recycling and gardening. And also, the author ecology was having a details practical steps towards environmental stewardship. It suggests creating gardens including roof gardens to support local wildlife, purchasing organic and local products, and supporting businesses committed to environmental sustainability. So now let's discuss about the integrating ecological literacy into the curriculum. The Center of Ecoliteracy in the year of 2015 promotes a variety of teaching strategies based on practices that are developmentally appropriate to students' level and are brain-based to foster knowledge, skills, and values essential to sustainable living according to SLY 2015. Students learn best when teaching strategies are varied that include hands-on activities, time for reflection, thoughtful discussion, and combined indoor and outdoor environments, including interdisciplinary projects, according to SLY 2015. Next, place-based learning. It is an experiential learning that engages students in their own environments and a strategy that captures their imagination and advances environmental stewardship and civic engagement. Activities include mapping the local environment to learn key ecological and cultural principles, studying the interplay between local society and the environment, supporting habitat restoration projects, and working with local citizens to improve the quality of life in their communities. Learning takes students out of the classroom and into the community and natural environment. It adheres the following principles that will be discussed to the next reporter. But first, may I but first I will explain what is integrating ecological literacy UDI into the curriculum. So, integrating ecological literacy into the curriculum This discusses educational approaches to foster ecological literacy. It mentions the Center for Ecoliteracy promotion of teaching strategies that are developmentally appropriate and brain-based, emphasizing the importance of knowledge, skills, and values to promoting environmental responsibility. This also discuss of integrating ecological literacy into education. It focuses in place-based learning, an experiential approach that engages students with their own environments. The key is to connect classroom learning with real-world projects and community engagements, fostering environmental stewardship and civic responsibility. This this the the next, they will also have a six principles guiding this place-based learning approach na gina-emphasize ang active students' roles in problem solving and community collaboration that will be discussed by my co-reporter.
So, good evening everyone. I am Rika J. Salugsugan. Here are the 6 principles of place-based learning. First is place-based projects are integrated back into classroom settings or lesson. So this approach helps students to connect what they learn in the classroom up to the real-world situations and issues. Principle number 1.2 is students want to learn in order to apply their knowledge to solving real problems. Principle number 1.3, students play an active role in redefining and recreating projects. So in this principle, students are more likely to engage in a deeper learning through active participation. Principle number 1.4, students collaborate with local citizens, organizations, agencies, business, and government. Principle number 1.5, students help to make plans that shape the future of their social, physical, and economic environments. And the last principle, principle 1.6, is students are encouraged to view their community as an ecosystem and to understand the relationships and processes necessary to support a healthy living. Number 1. Research reveals the benefits of place-based learning, such as: first is the higher test scores, second is better grade point average, third is to improve classroom behavior, fourth is to increase self-esteem and problem-solving abilities, and fifth is higher level thinking skills. Number 2. The project-based learning. So project-based learning is a strategy that involves students in projects that use a variety of resources, including the community, technology, and outside experts. Written resources learning serves as the facilitator. Through using this strategy, research shows its impact on learners, such as increased critical thinking skills of students, fostered positive attitude towards subjects such as mathematics, and exemplary performance with conceptual questions and applied problems. And last is to improve positive study and work habits, problem-solving capabilities, and self-esteem.
Likewise, project-based learning bears environmental impact such as habitat restoration, modeling the evolution of agriculture, and changing food in schools.